Good evening. Hello. Hello, everyone. Christelle Robinson-Tiedemann, aka Cree, coming to you live for HD Friday. This is a weekly segment inside of my Collective Perspective membership. Welcome. This is my monthly membership community centered on the art of contemplation and human design experimentation. We practice bringing the unconscious into the conscious and learning through lived experience. Thank you, everyone, for being with me on this Friday. I am so excited to have you. Say hello as you come in. Just fixing my settings here. Let me know who's here. Say hi as you come in. And if you head to the description box, you will see a link to pull up your own chart. So I highly recommend that you take a few minutes to get yourself situated before we get into the meat and potatoes of today to pull up your chart. This is going to be so much more meaningful if you actually have your own chart in front of you. And I want this to be as meaningful as possible. Please also let me know that you can hear me and see me. And actually, I am going to check for myself that our connection is good. Let me know your type as you're coming in. And I've been having kind of like, there's a storm over here, so I don't know how amazing the internet connection is going to be today. And we are live. Good. So whatever, we'll roll with it. You know what I mean? Whatever happens, happens. We're going to just roll with it. What's meant to be will be. But our topic for today is melancholy. It's melancholy. And in full transparency, I'll start off with a little bit of vulnerability. But today, this morning, I got some not so great news for Hubs and I from my fertility doctor about our fertility journey. We got some disappointing news. And in the energy that I was like, ooh, this is the perfect topic. And one of the things that we're going to get into actually is how this concept of melancholy holds so many beautiful codes. And one of the things that I actually love so much about human design as a coach, as someone who has been in the personal development world for over a decade, as someone who has been in the mental health and psychology world for over a decade, I find all of the codes that I use in all of these different areas of my life, in my therapist hat, in my coach hat, I find all of those codes within the human design system. And it's really beautiful to see it mechanically and to extract everything that we're meant to learn for other areas of our life and also for all of humanity. So we know, if you've been with me on any of these other HD Fridays, you know that in human design, whether you have something as an aspect of your chart or not, it matters to you because no man is on an island. Like, we are not alone in this world. And as soon as we encounter another person's aura, their design impacts our design. So the codes that we can learn from all aspects of the system are beneficial for everyone, and they're quite beautiful. So today, in honor of my own heart, this is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter one, and I'm going to go and spend some time with my husband and just be in our little bit of a melancholic experience that we're having today. So if you have your charts ready, if you have any questions off the jump, put them into the chat. But let's jump into it. So at the end of the call, I like to hold a Q&A if anyone has any questions. If there are no questions, we'll just close. But if you do have questions along the way, put them into the chat and I'll take them at the end of our segment, okay? So melancholy, the concept of melancholy from a human design perspective. And on HD Friday, get cozy, okay? Do you have a cocktail? Do you have a hot tea? Do you have something? Get cozy, enjoy yourself, interact, be casual, be fun. Cheers. I'm having a Lambrusco. If no one knows what that is, I highly recommend that you look it up. It's delicious. It's a bubbly red wine. So it's like a red wine champagne. It's delicious. Okay. Melancholy from a human design perspective. So I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever experienced just waking up one morning and feeling meh, just not great, just a little down or a little off or a little pooty? My best friend and I have said this word since high school. It'll be like, are you in a pooty? You're in a pooty. She came up with that word, and I thought it was so cute because it's like pouty and you feel poopy at the same time. You're in a pooty, But the thing is like, it doesn't actually have a true foundation to it. It's not like what I like to call circumstantial sadness. It's not like something happened. What I'm feeling today, what Hubs is feeling today, is circumstantial sadness. There is a reason, but the way that I'm going to show up for myself, I'm going to take some codes from what I understand from melancholy inside of my design. So it's not like you're depressed. It's not that something actually terrible happened. It's just kind of like out of the blue, you feel blue. This is melancholy. But before I understood human design, whenever I would have an experience like that, where I just kind of wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or it genuinely can happen so out of nowhere. I might be having these kind of like downish thoughts, or very reflective thoughts that make me feel a little bit down. And before I learned about human design, I would have this experience and then kind of think to myself like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's off. I'm feeling off. There must be a reason. I wouldn't just be feeling off for no reason. What's the problem? Maybe it's my partner. Maybe it's my shitty job. Maybe I'm being dramatic for the sake of explaining, but like, it's, what it is? I'm probably really pissed off about that thing that my sibling said to me yesterday. It's, my mom, we will do this thing. We're quite adept at it, human beings, where we will pretty quickly make up and find a story to match the experience that we're feeling in our body. We are much quicker to go to our mind and do a whole bunch of thinking and analyzing before we just feel. And then I learned about human design. And then I learned about melancholy. And what is it? Basically, melancholy is a natural biomechanical experience of, it's like a state from individual energy of a sadness that inspires art, that inspires creativity and deep existential reflection. I say individual because, and this is where we're going to get a little bit more technical, but we're not diving into all of this today. When you look at your human design chart, okay, it's going to look something like this body graph. Wherever you see the numbers, okay, wherever you see those lines and those numbers are inside of something called a circuit. And there are technically four different types of circuits. One of those circuit types is called an individual circuit. Each of those circuits have a different flavor. They have a different theme. They have a different energy. There are layers of themes in the human design system. And these themes are actually quite phenomenal. The three different themes, so the main ones are the collective circuit, the tribal circuit and the individual circuit. The collective is about the collective energy. The collective is what created a system where something goes wrong and you call 911 and the police come. It's for the good of all. It's for a system where like things work for the many. This is what collective energy is for. And you can understand its purpose simply by my explanation. And then there's tribal energy. There's the tribal circuit. The tribal circuit is about the us, the smaller group us. It's about tradition. It's about sameness. It's about mutual care and support. A tribe. Okay, so we can understand what tribal energy is like. And we can understand how that is important. We understand that tradition is important to a certain degree. We understand that having mutual understanding is important to a certain degree. And we also understand that having different roles that help each other out is important because one person is not going to be good at everything, right? So this is what tribal energy does. And then we have individual circuit. And the individual circuit is the freak. This is what the creator of human design, Ra Uru, called it. The freak doesn't work for me. That word doesn't really work for me. But it is unique. It is the energy of unique. It's the energy of different. It's the energy of we've been doing this same shit for the past however many years. I want something different. It's what we say in human design. It's actually all about mutation. So the individual circuit is super important for creating change, for creating new, for creating beauty, not just function, for creative. Think of collective energy, right? Think of tribal energy. It feels functional, but where does art come in? Where does beauty come in? Where does for the freaking heck of it come in? Where does I don't feel like I exactly fit in? Is there a little bit of a new avenue or a new direction? This is what individual energy is for. And what has been placed within individual energy to inspire this mutation is melancholy. It's melancholy. So what we can interpret as sadness in our body and feel the need to find a story because we live in such an intellectual, mind-heavy, analytical world, we think we have to create a reason for everything. What's actually going on is there is a biomechanical, biochemistry happening in those with individual circuitry, with individual gates inside of their body, where we are felt to look at things differently, to feel like I want more, I want something different, or like something's off, simply for the push, the urge to create. So there's a concept inside of the human design system called the brooding artist. This is where this will help you to understand what individual circuitry is all about and what the melancholy energy is all about. Think of an artist. Even think of a beautiful movie. I love K-dramas. Half the time when I'm watching these K-dramas, I'm simply there bawling my freaking eyes out. There is a deep sadness sometimes, and it feels beautiful. When we think of artists and the pain that they're experiencing and how they'll put that into words and they'll put that into sound, or they'll put that into a visual demonstration through the medium of paint or sculpture, whatever it is. That place, that pain that it came from Sometimes that pain is like, very much trauma. But that kind of brooding energy is melancholy. So oftentimes if I see, so as an analyst, when I see a chart and I see a bunch of individual circuitry, I'm like, oh, you're an artist. That's what you are. What do you create? Create, I don't create. Pick up a pen. Do you like an? It just said that I was offline. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I knew this was going to happen today. Just bear with me. Okay. So you need to create. Whenever I look at a chart and I see a bunch of individual circuitry, this is an artist. And it is life-changing. It is life-changing. And to be honest with you, most of us have at least one individual gate inside of our chart. And I'm going to tell you what those are so that you can pull up your own chart right now and look and see if this is you. You might just know it's you by my description, everything that I just said, but let's actually look at it. But almost everybody has an individual gate. And so you're going to have some sort of melancholy. And it's just so important to understand that experience of that feeling, that biomechanical sadness that is not through a circumstance. It's asking you, it's giving you the inspiration, it's asking for you to lean into it and create something. There's something mutative in it. There is something to be offered, to be made in it. And it's important to know that process does not have to be productive. It doesn't have to be something that you're selling. It doesn't have to be something that any of the rest of the world gets to see, because the truth is it's mutated through you. So let's say I'm feeling melancholy and I'm called to create, and what I go I do is I go into the backyard and I do this whole modern dance thing with myself and just feel my body and play music and just dance and be super creative with my body, not for anyone else to see, not for anyone, else's pleasure, but my own experience. It's what's created in me through that action. It's what's inspired in me through that experience that actually will end up feeding the world. So it's not that your creative energy needs to be productive, but your creative energy needs to be released. It needs to be released from your body. Okay? So pull up your charts. And I'm just going to show you. This is what the individual circuitry looks like. Okay? This one. All three of them are the same. All right? So if you have any of these channels, a channel is when two of those numbers connect, two of those gates connect, or even if you have a hanging gate, meaning there's not a full channel, but you have one half, that's individual circuitry, and it will still hold the energy of melancholy. Okay? So, starting from the top, gate 61, gate 24, or the channel 6124, okay? That is a melancholic gate. Gate 43, so that's in the triangle on the bottom and the number on the bottom. The square below that, gate 23, gate 8, gate 1, gate 20, gate 12, 10, which is in that diamond in the middle, and 25. Those are both in that diamond in the middle. And then we're going to move down to the triangle on the right. And there's one individual gate there, 51. So you can see there's quite a bit, right? Then let's move down to the square. That's not on the bottom, but before the bottom. Gate 34, gate 14, gate 3. Let's move to the right, that triangle. Gate 22, gate 55. Let's move to the bottom square, gate 39, gate 38, and finally the triangle on the left, gate 28 and gate 57. Any of these gates or channels, you, my friend, most definitely have melancholic energy inside of you. So I personally have gate 8-1. So that is the connection between the throat and the G center. That is connection between the manifestation center and the center of identity, love, and direction. That is all of the gates inside of my chart are individual, but I'm going to use this one as an example. So I have this channel, the 1-8 channel, connecting my throat to my identity center. And when I learned about melancholy, it was really life-changing for me. So my whole life, I used to say this thing that I am an artist groupie. I used to say that, but I'm not an actual groupie, okay? But I would always say that I'm an artist groupie because I love artists. People walk up to me in the street all the time. My whole life, they've been like, "Are you an artist? Are you an artist?" I guess it's my hair and my tattoos and stuff. They're like, "Are you an artist?" And I'm like, "No," but I love it, right? Because I am an artist adjacent groupie. Like I love it. My best friend is a visual artist and I'm obsessed with her work. I'm obsessed with people that have like talent and can express it in this way. And I've always felt like, oh man, I wish I had something like that. Little did I know that I've been an artist the whole time. Just I had such a rigid view of what artistry was that I never really gave myself the credit for where my artistry lay, and therefore I actually held myself back. And in my 20s, I became very depressed. I'm not saying that the only reason I became depressed is because I had no idea how to express my creativity, but I know that it was a very large part of the problem. I had kind of structured my life around what are the things that society and my parents and everyone think that you're supposed to do, and I'll do that because whenever I try to do my own thing, so I don't know if most people know, but when I graduated from my undergrad, instead of going into my master's, which I had actually applied for, gotten into, I requested if I could defer. They said no deferrals, you either come or you're not, and I'm like, I'm not coming, and I let it go, and I went into acting. And I was deep into the acting world for 3 years, and I was taking acting courses. I was doing, auditioning for TV shows and commercials, and I did some theater. It was a pretty incredible experience. Definitely like taught me a lot. But that thing was always there. Once I was actually in the acting world, I realized this is not for me. This is not what it is. And after that, I was like, I guess I was kind of wrong that that's where my artistry is, but I always like felt this pull. But what I decided to do is to go back into the, the straight and narrow path. And I went back and I did my master's. And then this is where I entered the world of the psychology world through occupational therapy and I became a mental health occupational therapist. And it took me a really, really long time and my own deep inner work and exploration to figure out that my expression wasn't in like these typical ways. My expression is exactly what the heck I'm doing right now. It's in guiding people, the unique way that I guide people, my writing. I was so convinced that I was not smart for most of my life. And so I never gave myself a chance to do much with my writing. I always just used it for work or for school. And the truth is, like, I love to write. And the area where I would let myself be free was in greeting cards. And my family love and look forward to my cards. Every Christmas for a birthday, they're like, what is she going to write? Like my aunt, one of my favorite aunt, at Christmas time, she literally like sits herself down in a corner. She saves the card. She won't read it when everyone else is reading their cards. She sits herself down in a corner later on, and she sits and opens my card like a book with her glasses. And I think it's so hilarious. But she's like, your cards are the best. And so it's taken me a really long time to realize that my outlets just come in these very different ways, because I'm not writing a novel. I'm like, you're not a writer. But I have a way with words, and I have a form of expression in my writing that is unique, and it feels beautiful to me. What it feels like is I give a little piece of love in this like written package to this person that I care about. Like it just, it's easy, you know? So I say all of this to say that keeping that inside of me, it hurt a lot without me realizing what was hurting, and trying to make my life so much about the things that I should do and what I'm supposed to do, and not creating space for me to just express, create, be creative was so detrimental to my mental and physical health. And I started to, when I started and I dove into, honestly, my depression is one of the greatest gifts of my life, because it led me to personal development. And personal development, my love of personal development, it demonstrated to me, like, I started personal development to heal, and then I did it for fucking fun. Like, it was about healing and no longer being miserable, which I achieved. And then I was like, I'm never not doing this. Like, let's go. Of course, later on when I learned human design, I have the gate of growth. Of course, I'm obsessed with like growth and expansion. I'm like, this is the best. And the truth is that I belonged in that world. Like, I am a creator as well as a consumer of personal development, you know? And so I started to play with my writing and my words and my expression and teaching. And I started trying new things with my therapy clients, and my artistic edge started to come through. I even remember when I was deciding to shave my head, and I was like, that is crazy, you can't do that. And I was like, I'm doing it. And then I remember saying out loud, for the first time, I realized I'm an artist. I was in a group, a personal development group, and one of my best friends is in the group, and she's like, you've always been an artist. And I'm like, what? How come you didn't tell me? She's like, do you see the way that you dress? Like, do you see the way that you just like put yourself together? And I'm like, huh. Oh yeah. Like I never even realized like my actual physical appearance is part of my art, you know? So for anyone with this individual circuitry, we need to create. And our melancholy is our sign. It's honestly this delicious experience to embrace. And so what I've found for myself is that when I wake up on one of those days and I'm like, what's going on? I almost get a little bit excited now. I'm like, what are we going to do with this? I'm like, oh, melancholy is here. What are we going to do with this? Because nothing's gone wrong. Nothing is the matter. But a creative process is beginning, and I sure as heck am not going to disallow it. Is there discomfort in the experience? Yeah, of course. It's not nice necessarily to feel sad. But why do we like sad movies? Like, would that romantic movie be the same without the part where it's like, I can't do this. I'm not going to be with you anymore. And they leave, and then they come back together in the pouring rain, and they have this romantic kiss, and the music is going, and you're like, oh, I knew it. Why does that feel good? Why do we do that to ourselves on purpose over and over and over again? Because we love it. It's delicious. There's something kind of like scrumptious about it, you know? And I now kind of romanticize my experience of my melancholy. Like, these are the times to take that bubble bath with the rose petals in the water. I swear this is actually one of the things that really strongly endeared me to my husband when we were dating. We would have a date where I was going to come over and we'd have dinner at his place. And what he would do was put on a playlist of music and draw me a bath. And I would have this like lazy, luxurious bath while he cooked. And then we would have dinner. And oh man, did that feel so delicious. And like, these are the things that we want to do when we're in that melancholic state. Lean into it. Sometimes I literally let what I do be just like bumming out. So I'll have a day where I'm like, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to lay on the couch. I'm going to watch K-dramas. Maybe I'll have ice cream. Maybe I'll have popcorn. But there's no guilt in it. There's no like, oh, I shouldn't. It's like, ooh, this is what would feel really good to me right now. And I just I lean into it. I let that experience be. And inevitably, I will create. Amazing ideas will come to me. I will write something that's brilliant. I will go into my membership, the Collective Perspective membership, and I will share something that is really moving. And it's just coming through me. I don't know what is going to be made of it on the other side. But what happens on the other side is like, that was exactly what I needed to hear. Oh my gosh, you don't know how that was exactly what I needed to hear. I allow for the energy, whatever is building inside me, to pass through me. I pause, let it be. Don't force anything. Don't try to change it. Don't try to numb it. Don't try to get rid of it. I just allow it, and it will come through me however it comes through me. That's going to be different for each and every one of us. One of my clients is a dancer, and she has, not only is she an emotional authority and has, her emotion center defined. So she has emotional waves, and she has pretty intense one, and she has a lot of them. She's quite defined in her emotional center. She also has melancholic gates. So not only does she have emotional waves, she experiences random melancholy. This woman creates like a beast. She has a blog. She has a podcast. She's a dancer. She teaches, choreographs, does her own dances for herself. She is non-stop creating. And that is exactly what she's meant to do. That is exactly the place, how she's meant to release and what she's meant to do with that energy. Where it becomes problematic is whenever we're trying to make it a story. Whenever we're trying to make it mean something. This doesn't mean that there isn't circumstantial experiences of emotion. That's different. The issue or the work is around being able to differentiate between, when am I just experiencing melancholy? Basically, when do you find yourself looking for a story? When do you find yourself trying to search and explain what it is that you're feeling? We don't have to do that. In general, I'm going to go out there, and I understand that people might disagree with me, but I don't think we ever have to do that. I think that if you were an intentional, basically, if you were someone who is watching this, if you were a client of mine, if you are in my Collective Perspective membership, if you are intentional and active in your inner work, it will come to you. When there is an issue around something, it will rise through your own daily practice of reflection. Whatever it is that your process is, it will arise. When we find ourselves sitting there and trying to make something up to explain what it is that we're feeling, rather than just feel and allow whatever needs to come through our body, it's literally like we become the instrument. The melancholy is like the indicator, that the creative process is beginning, and it's up to you to allow it. And then it's about allowing for this medium to become the instrument, and let the music of mutation play through you. Let the creative process pass through you, however that is the work. And if there is any wisdom to be arisen on the other end, would that not come through from that process anyways? Right? So it gets to be really beautiful. It actually gets to be a really beautiful experience. Bittersweet. I think bittersweet is a really nice word to describe what I experience melancholy to be in myself now. So whenever I just have a day that I realize, ooh, we're in that melancholy, I just allow the bittersweetness of it completely. And if you're looking for a process, a specific process that can help you with that, I have something called the self check-in inside of my Collective Perspective membership. All, any masterclasses or challenges I've done, you have access to the library of them. I have something called the 15-day Rise and Shine Challenge, and inside of it, I taught my members this process I called the self check-in. And it's this process where we go within ourselves and we kind of determine which of our parts are there and where is true self. And we separate the two so that we can actually be the ones in charge. Like we can be in the driver's seat rather than our parts be in the driver's seat. And I have found that to be really, really, really helpful, especially if you're in your experiment and you're still a little bit wonky with like making up a story. Like I'm sad. I'm scared. Something's wrong. We go into the check-in and we listen to our parts and see what's going on and let true self come online. And it becomes so much easier now that you know that you are the one in the driver's seat. From that place, it's like, what do I need? What do I need? The second part of the self check-in is literally having a conversation with your inner child. What do you want to do today? This was life-changing for me. This was actually life-changing for me when I started to do that check-in. And that process of sitting on, so what I make you do is like create a like a meeting place. Where do you and your inner child meet? For me, it was like on this bench in this rolling field. If anyone's watched Sound of Music, it's like these rolling fields. And we would meet there and we would sit beside each other or lay in the grass and make like grass angels together. And I would ask her as a priority. I would do this in the beginning of my day. And I did this consistently every day for a very long time. And I would ask her, what do you want to do today? What do you want to play today? And she would tell me whatever it is that she wanted to do. And I would make it a priority to do that first. Sometimes she wanted to do cartwheels. And so I would go outside and literally do cartwheels. Sometimes just wanted my bare feet in the grass. Sometimes it was to read something, but read something just fun. I love fantasy. I want to read just like a fantasy book. And so then I would just start reading a fantasy book and, just for like 30 minutes, whatever it is, or write or whatever it is. And it was just that checking into that part of me that doesn't have like a to-do list, that part of me that doesn't feel the need to fix everything, that part of us that isn't like, something's wrong, get rid of it. The part that's just like, I just want to feel good and letting it make the decisions. That has been a very helpful process in terms of fully integrating this aspect of myself, that I am a melancholic being. I am a person with individual circuitry. I'm here for mutation. I am meant to create. And whenever I feel that melancholy come online, it's my indicator that my creative process has begun and I'm going to allow it. So that is my assignment for you. Okay. If you have any of those gates that I mentioned, if you have any of the channels that I mentioned, and you realize that you have this individual circuitry, you have melancholy. And so the next time that you experience this sadness come out of nowhere, understand that it's just your body operating in the way that it's meant to. And you are an artist. And think of all the musicians that you love to listen to and how beautiful a sad song is, and lean into it and ask yourself, what do I want to create? How do I want to be creative? And do that thing, whatever that thing is. If you can't figure it out, ask the 5-year-old version of you. What did 5-year-old you love to do? And start there. That's what I would recommend. And then come and tell me how it went. Come into the comments and let me know how it went. Or even better, come into the collective perspective and let me know how it went. And we can go through the whole process together. So that is melancholic energy. That is melancholy from a human design perspective. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing that's gone wrong. You have a beautiful sadness inside of you that's letting you know that you are an artist of this world. You are meant to change this world through your creative energy, through your creations. And you're the only one that's holding it back. So allow it. And then you'll also notice that, like once that creative process passes, the melancholy is gone too. It's cyclical. It's cyclical. But as soon as it's like time to create something again, the dip goes and another creative cycle begins. So if you have any questions, this is the time. Just drop it in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions about any of that. And I will let you know right now that the Collective Perspective membership is on a really discounted rate. It's at $44 a month, only $44 a month right now to join. And inside of the Collective Perspective, we are having this really beautiful conversation right now. The conversation is all about, honestly, individuality. We're talking about opinions and the need to be right and what that's done to us in our lives. Like, how have we been conditioned by the need to be right? And it actually fits so beautifully with what we're talking about today, because if you are a person with individual circuitry, if you're like me, who really came here to shake things up a bit, you came here to spice things up, shake things up, you came to create something new. Stepping into a society and a world that's like there's a right way to do everything. There is boxes to check off and there is a pathway that's decided before you. It is completely anathema to our being and to our happiness and to our fulfillment. So we're having this beautiful, expansive conversation right now about that impact and how do we show up in the highest frequency of being able to hold on to the power of an opinion if you have an opinion, and also allow for differences between others and allow for multiple truths to exist in the world. This is our conversation. And there's no better time to jump in because it's only $44 a month at this point. And whatever you come into the Collective Perspective at, the rate that you come in at, you're grandfathered into. So for as long as you are in the membership, you remain at $44 a month. All new members of the membership get a preliminary human design reading with me, complimentary. You also, in addition to that, get an automatic 22% off of any of my individual services. You get access to any masterclasses or challenges that I am doing in the future or I've already done. They're in the vault and you have access to those. We have one monthly live call, and every month we dive into a different topic. You also have unlimited human design Q&A. There's a whole human design section where we dive into different human design topics. We dive into different personal aspects of your human design chart, and you have unlimited Q&A. So at $44 a month, this is actually insane. And it's a beautiful opportunity. And my personal goal is to get as many aligned people in there, because my goodness, you are brilliant. Those that are called, the people that are called to participate in this have added so much to my own personal expansion. Yes, I am the creator of this space, but I get as much as you do out of the space. And I can never predict how much we're going to expand with our conversations and our topics. So you can feel free to DM me if you want more information. Follow me on Instagram at Coaching with Cree and just send me a DM. And in the description box, there's links to everything. And so you can find me through there if you have any questions. If you don't have any Q&A questions right now, that's fine. You're welcome to write them into the chat at any other point, or any of your comments or anything that, any ahas that you had from this live, just pop them into the comment section. It's always helpful for anyone. And I pop in when I can and answer any questions and respond to your comments as I'm able to. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. Love your melancholic energy. I love it in you. I've learned to absolutely adore mine. It is the artist in you. It is the source of the artistry in you. It is a beautiful, mutative process, experience. Just, it is, there's unlimited potential in it. So embrace it and find your creative outlet. Be curious and experiment, be courageous, be curious, and just go out and find different creative outlets for yourself. And I'm sure you'll find something that is, that really is your thing, and it will develop more and more and more and more. But don't be afraid to do that. And remember, it's not for anyone else. It's for you. It's for you. If it ever it grows into a space where it becomes productive, or it becomes something that you sell, or a business, or whatever that is, let that just progress on its own. But understand that your creativity, if you have individual circuitry, it's like holding in a poop. It's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. You have to let it out. So start, if this is all new to you, start by letting it out completely just with you and you. Go back to when you were a kid, grab colored pencils and coloring pages and just start to color. Just start with you and you and see where it takes you. And if this is something that really, really, really hits home for you on a deep level, and you realize, wow, this is a place that I've been holding myself back, and you want individual help, I'm available for that too. And if you want to book a one-on-one session, the links are in the description box. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday. Until next time, I hope that you subscribe and turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next Friday. Ciao.